in. What was it like talking to a genuine guy? Or do you
You know, very energetic, very enthusiastic, very convinced that we are on a flat Earth, despite, all the pictures from space and the
Yeah.
aircraft flying around.
Tonight, we've got a really interesting program. We're going to be looking at the flat Earth. Now, well, actually, the flat Earth movement over the last number of years has been growing. And so Dr. Danny Faulkner has looked into this. In fact, he's even written a book on it called Flat, and all the other resources at the moment. So that's tonight's topic. We're going to be looking at the flat Earth. But let me start off, Danny, by asking you, why write a book on the flat Earth? Of all the subjects you could write on as an astronomer, why write about the flat Earth?
I first became aware of the Flat Earth movement more than 4 years ago. It was rapidly growing. It seemed to be making inroads among the Christian community. About that time, major creation ministries, including Answers in Genesis, began getting requests, getting questions. What about this Flat Earth movement? We got people writing in and telling us we're not teaching true biblical cosmology. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. Take us off your mailing list, this sort of stuff. And people were just at their wits' end. I've heard about the families divided by this, husband against wife, wife against husband, churches being split, parents and children. And I found people coming to us, as they so often do, looking for answers, have questions, and they need to go to somebody who can provide them some of the answers to those questions.
Afterwards, asking you about the flat Earth movement, or, my husband believes in a flat Earth, or, colleague does, or whatever it is. So it is a growing movement. But can you tell us about the origins of it? When did it begin? What prompted it? Who are the main organizers, I guess?
In 1 Chronicles 12:32, we read about the sons of Issachar who had understanding of the times. And I want to ask us, do we have understanding of the times? Do we know what is happening in our Western world? We see the collapse of the Christian fabric, the collapse of the Christian worldview. Why is that? Because a foundation has been removed and the structure is collapsing. What foundation? The foundation of the authority of the Word of God. It's about time God's people went out there unashamedly, uncompromisingly, stood on the Word of God and said, this is what it's all about. Proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. Show that we can defend our faith. If we start standing on the Word of God, that's what's going to change this nation.
Is the Earth flat?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special...
So, today we are answering the age-old question whether the Earth is actually flat or if it's not. During this time in isolation, I have been thinking to myself, why do so many people believe that the Earth is flat? So I have decided to investigate this myself by making this my mission to travel all the way to Land's End in Cornwall to find out the Earth's true form. So after hours and hours of travelling, we finally made it to the destination. As you can see, I'm actually talking on screen, but basically it was too windy to hear anything, so I'll be narrating the rest of the video for you lot. I now present to you Exhibit A. In the distance you can see the horizon of the Earth, and to be fair, it does look fairly flat. I do not think this is enough evidence, however, to support this claim, so we will now move on to Exhibit B.
Your elbows can touch together, you're flat.
And there was much rejoicing.
My deductive deconstruction of the wicked, all inclusive but explosives what you get when I'm tripping and I'm still ticking. Masons can't trip with Mr. Twisted, picture me wigging. The cemetery's filling up swiftly, sheeple screaming. Wild like a child tissy, turn the trick and now the whole herd on my list is shitty, powerful, the merciful. I fight for all my rights, I'm never tired, just a shining star, rising really far, so now I'm wide, Masons. I've got half of mine to slap yours. Bring your hostility when you come for me, cause I win wars. No hesitation when I then blast, cause truth are bustin', plus cops had it coming, so get off my ass, yo. So now I shook the law off me, my bag's packed and I'm freezing through the cold to forget the phonies. Now we slowly migrate to where we all came from, Cosmo flying, that's a fact. Hyper boy, here we come.
Okay, my bags are packed. You know we waited so long, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we come. It's time to adapt. You know we've risen so strong, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we go.
When I woke up from this dream, I prayed and thanked the Lord for showing me the only truthful way. I wanna be a righteous man, but still when the devil comes for me, all I can see is getting him killed for real. That's how I feel. Reflect my rhymes rolling on these reels, make the Masons all deal with my steel. They grave sealed. We were fooled, but they made themselves. Give them the noose and make them hang themselves. Hey, fallen legends headed home, James 5:7. Dusting devils to the dome, watch them die from heaven. God's calling shots, nobody's real, they NPCs walking dead in the scripted realities, burning globes get disposed of. We all truthers to the death, so my flat brothers show me love. God forgave us from the exile, we got the job done, so we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we come.
Okay, my bags are packed. You know we waited so long, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we come. It's time to adapt. You know we've risen so strong, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we go.
I was dazed by drugs, ruled by thrillers, learned my psychiatric skills from popping painkillers. Chosen mine cause God knows me. I guess we all gotta grow just to find peace. I grow to these beats, clash till I touch the sky. Still do or die, all the truth is on the rise, watching lies die. Saints paralyzing like a poet prophet. Saints organizing on the rise so they can't stop it. I keep on truthing, now the haters wanna see me fall. I smoke your snitch and out his deep ditch is gonna grave them all. Problem solved, ditch a ball, time to grow up. I'm laying lines in my prime, time to blow up. Heads up, spoken spell, broke the globe curse. I'm ripping rhymes out daily with the next verse. Now we're done with the scum in the slum, time for fun, everyone. Hyperborea, here we come.
Okay, my bags are packed. You know we waited so long, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we come. It's time to adapt. You know we've risen so strong, we'll fly and that's a fact. Hyperborea, here we come.
How do we know the Earth is not flat?
We don't. It's flat.
Just taking a look at the Matrix and why people believe what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Take cover, keep hidden, and get ready to infiltrate a super secret organization.
The society includes at least 3 U.S. presidents, Supreme Court justices, and too many senators and CEOs to name.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Top 5 Facts. In today's installment, we're counting down our picks for the top 5 most interesting facts about the Yale University secret society known as the Skull and Bones.
A number of reports say that there are niches with human skulls and whose skulls they are. They're supposedly the skulls of famous people, and there's one skull that was labeled the skull of Geronimo.
It's an organization with a history spanning over 150 years, shrouded in mystery and retaining some pretty unique and fascinating secrets.
Even though their identities were known, what they did inside the tomb was still supposed to be top secret.
Number 5. Lots of powerful elite or bonesmen.
Chris, welcome to the Skull and Bones Society. This is where the most powerful men in the world are groomed for their futures.
Conspiracy theorists love discussing the Skull and Bones, especially how many important, influential, and powerful members have passed through its doors.
Oh, he's an ambitious man. The idea of getting the Supreme Court is the only thing he really loves.
Members of this super-secret organization are known as Bonesmen and have included Senator John Kerry, former President William Howard Taft, and 3 generations of the Bush family, including George W. Bush, George Bush Sr., and Prescott Bush. But more on him later. Other Bonesmen have gone on to head multi-million-dollar corporations or otherwise become power players on the world stage, leading to much speculation that the society is meant to breed future world leaders and other men of influence.
We share similar backgrounds, you and I hope similar values which could put this society's influence to better use.
And we say men of influence because the Skull and Bones actually didn't accept female membership until the 1990s, long after Yale University itself went co-ed in 1969. This desire to keep the society small, intimate, and male-dominated only adds to its legacy of mystery and secrecy. Or maybe it just makes them look like jerks. Jury's out on that one.
You know, someone I loved once told me that if it's secret and elite, it can't be good.
Number 4. They allegedly stole the skulls of historical figures. So remember how we mentioned that George W. Bush's grandfather, Prescott, was a bonesman? Well, in 1918, the patriarch was among 6 other bonesmen who served as guards in Fort Sill, where famed Apache leader Geronimo died and was buried. The legend is that Prescott & Co. stole Geronimo's skull from the site and brought it back to the Skull and Bones headquarters known as the Tomb, where it's said to reside to this day. So enduring is this tale that in 2009, Geronimo's descendants sued the Skull and Bones for the return of his remains. The case was dismissed in 2010, but not because the bones aren't there necessarily, but because the judge decided that the law they cited only applied to grave robberies that occurred after the law was passed in 1990. The Apache warrior skull isn't the only macabre object reportedly housed within the tomb either, as author Alexandra Robbins claims that there were also skulls belonging to Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa and former President Martin Van Buren within the tomb, as well as coffins, gravestones, and even a set of silverware which reportedly belonged to Adolf Hitler.
There are photos of skulls inside the Skull and Bones tomb.
Number 3. Initiation involves some bizarre rituals.
As is customary with all our new members, you now have to spend 7 minutes in the closet with our most senior member.
We've already mentioned that the Skull and Bones headquarters is known as the Tomb, but is what actually goes on down there in the depths all that dark and mysterious?
That sounds kinda cruel.
No, you'll love it. It's great.
Well, it's been said that the initiation rituals for potential bonesmen can include some very bizarre, occult-inspired trappings.
The initiates have to do things like drink fake blood out of a skull.
One former Yale student turned journalist for the New York Observer even managed to capture on videotape one of the Skull and Bones rituals for neophyte pledges to the society. These rituals include a mock human sacrifice, the kissing of a skull, and various embarrassingly juvenile taunts from elder bonesmen to these neophytes.
They're sort of trying to scare the initiates, make them, disorient them, frighten them.
According to Alexandra Robbins, another infamous hazing ritual involves having a neophyte lie naked in a coffin, masturbate, and reveal their most secretive sexual experiences and fantasies. Are we having fun yet?
Wolfie, 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 Wolfie. Yeah, it's my safe word, baby. It's my safe word.
I don't give up.
Number 2. They have their very own island. Once a bonesman, always a bonesman. This is the idea behind the Skull and Bones membership, as the Society's alumni retain oversight of its activities, while also owning its real estate under the Russell Trust Association. One piece of this real estate is a private island belonging to the Skull and Bones known as Deer Island, located along the St. Lawrence River. The original purpose of Deer Island was as a retreat destination for bonesmen, where members would enjoy fine dining, play tennis, and otherwise catch up with bonesmen alumni who have lost touch over the years. The idea of vacationing on Deer Island is one which has somewhat lost its luster for younger bonesmen, however, with many new students claiming that the island has largely fallen into disrepair.
Talk about your fixer-upper.
In 2009, Gawker posted photos from an alleged bonesman's Facebook page depicting what they say is a weekend at Deer Island. It really just looks like a diverse group of friends having a drunken good time in a shabby cabin somewhere. Kind of disappointing. Number 1. The Skull and Bones isn't the only secret society at Yale. Yep, just imagine. Not one, but several freaky clubs. Some even richer than the Skull and Bones, all perpetuating dangerous and bizarre hazing rituals, and all going on to secretly run the world. Or something. They go by such similarly cryptic names as Scroll and Key, Book and Snake, and Wolf's Head. According to Robbins, they all keep a checks and balances approach to how they recruit reliable new members, protect their own unique hazing traditions, and keep up to speed on what every other secret society is up to as well. Others claim that the point of all these secret societies, including Skull and Bones, is a much more benign one. They are merely an opportunity for students to create relationships with a diverse set of new people and hopefully gain some lifelong friends.
In any fellowship, you need someone you can trust. Someone to be there, always and for anything. A soulmate.
Or at least a few college drinking buddies. So, are you ready to pledge allegiance to the Skull and Bones? And would you go through degrading hazing rituals to gain some powerful friends?
Is it the old Groucho Marx joke that I just don't want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member?
For more accomplished Bonesman top 10s and skull-kissing top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
So what's the payoff for all the secrecy, all the elaborate rituals? Well, here's the thing. Skull and Bones has a
that for people who don't really know what is really going on, I see the pain. You know, I see it in their eyes. Okay, sorry, cartoon. You know, well, my daughter used to love Peppa Pig, and I've become very fond of it. I like Peppa Pig. You know, it's cute, kind of real. You know, I mean, they mean nothing. This is a perfect example for you to see that all politicians, all actors and actresses, all football players, all baseball players, all of them are nothing but there to distract you. Don't you understand that? You live on a flat earth.
Times we went